Hey, are you guys getting excited for Halloween? I am. I'm so excited I decorated my house. Look, there's pumpkins and bats. There's all sorts of things. So we're gonna read a story about a pumpkin. And the pumpkin is not a normal pumpkin. Our pumpkin is square. Crazy, huh? So, I want to tell you something really fast. He's not really a square. They call him a square pumpkin, but technically he's a cube. We haven't learned about cubes yet, so we can just call him a square, but I want you to know that he's actually a cube, okay? So, a square, you know what a square looks like? Like this book. See? This book is a square. It's flat. A cube has a square on lots of sides. Like if you could pick up this guy, his name's Spookley. If you could pick up Spookley, he'd be a square on this side, he'd be a square on this side, he'd be a square on all the sides. That means he's a cube, but it's okay. We'll call him a square today, okay? Also, just so you know, a pumpkin isn't really a circle. It's closer to a shape called a sphere. A sphere is like a ball, and a pumpkin's kind of like a ball, so it's kind of closer to a sphere than a circle. A circle is flat, like my ring. It's flat. It's a circle. Okay, anyways, just so we got that straight, we're gonna read a story about a pumpkin named Spookley because I'm so excited for October. Okay, I want you thinking about something. So in a second, we're gonna write in our journals, and I want you thinking about how you can make a really cool pumpkin. So he's a cool pumpkin because he's square or a cube. And I want you thinking about how you can make a cool pumpkin, okay? Be thinking about that as we're reading the story. All right. I also want you to think about kindness, okay? You know how we talk about kindness a lot at our school? So I want you to think about kindness as we read this story, okay? And I want you to think about what Spookley does that's really kind, okay? All right. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Spookley was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. Do you guys see Spookley? He's right there. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookley sat there shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines when off they'd go. Bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing, what a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. Suddenly the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. That looks kind of scary, huh? Do you think pumpkins can swim? I don't think so. Spookley knew that what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, again he flipped, and then he stopped. Right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way, the hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Okay, remember you're thinking about what Spookley does that's kind? Be thinking about it. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookley, sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew, of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special that had ever grown. Okay, can you think about what Spookley did that was kind? Spookley was kind because he blocked the fence so that his friends wouldn't blow away into the water. And look, all those pumpkins piled on top of him, and it kind of hurt him. He was bruised and had owies all over him, but he was so kind. He helped them anyways. That was really nice of him, huh? And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning, about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. Do you see all those pumpkins? Some were cubes and some were rectangular. Some were flat and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. Whoa, look at those pumpkins. Can you point to the pumpkin that you like the most? Oh, I like this one. It's a rainbow. Also, look, that one looks like a rectangle. Wow. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday you'll tell someone too. And they'll go tell someone who'll go tell another. And maybe one day we all will discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. Look at all those different pumpkins. I love how they're all different. Are pumpkins always the same? Not really. Have you guys ever been to a pumpkin patch? There's big ones and tall ones and fat ones and skinny ones. Now, I've never really seen a pumpkin that's a square or cube or different colors. Like, well, actually, there are green ones and white ones, huh? But I love it because they can all be friends. Even though they're all a little bit different, they can be friends. And I loved how Spookley was so kind and he helped his friends out. Even though it hurt him a little bit, he was able to help other people, which then made him feel really good about himself. That's awesome. Oh, Spookley is so cute. Okay, so today in your journals, remember in your journal, you're going to go to the next blank page. So I went through all my pages and see I have writing on this one. I went through my pages until I got to my first blank one, which was this one. So you don't have to write on the backs. This doesn't really count as a blank one. You can write on this side if you want to. It doesn't really matter. But this is my first blank page. I did not go and find a random page. I went to the next blank one. That way I can find it, okay? So today in our journals, we're going to write, the pumpkin is blank. Now remember, you're not really writing blank. You're not really writing that line. You're gonna write a word, okay? So if I was writing about Spookley, I could say the pumpkin is square. And I would sound out the word square. And then I would draw a square pumpkin up here. But I was thinking, I really want to make my own pumpkin. So I'm going to make a pumpkin that is really, really fat. Have you ever seen a huge, huge pumpkin? I'm going to make a pumpkin that fills up this whole space. So I am going to write these words. So I already wrote them, okay? The pumpkin is, you're going to write them too, okay? And then I need to fill in this blank space. So I'm going to write the word fat. Oh, I can sound that out. So the first sound I hear in fat is what letter makes the sound? An F. So I'm going to write an F. What letter makes the sound? A. I'm going to put an A right here. So now I have fat. Oh man, what letter makes the T sound? It's a T. Let's see. Fat. I sounded it out all by myself. Look at that. That looks awesome. So now I'm going to draw a huge pumpkin as big as I can on this space. Whoa. I'm going to put its stem here. Wow, that's a huge pumpkin. And I'm going to color it, okay? Okay, I did a couple things that you're not going to do, okay? I wrote in pen. You should be writing in pencil. I couldn't find my pencil, so I had to use a pen, okay? You're going to use pencil because if you make a mistake, you can erase it. Also, I'm not done. I didn't do my best work. I didn't color this. Remember on Friday how we talked about coloring? And in our journal, we want to do our best coloring. I want you to follow our coloring tips. Like, so one of our coloring tips is to color inside the lines. Another one is to not leave any white spaces. Another tip is to, I forgot. Maybe you guys can remember. Color inside the lines. Use more than one color. So I'm going to use orange, and then I'm going to use brown. I'm going to use more than one color because pumpkins really are more than one color, huh? So also, if I wanted my pumpkin to be orange, I want it to be orange. But if you know how you're designing your own pumpkin? So if you said the pumpkin is purple, then you're going to color your pumpkin purple. Remember how one of our coloring tips was to color things the way that they would really look like? Well, we're making our own pumpkins so they can look like whatever they want to look like, huh? You could do dots, you could do stripes, you could do whatever you want on your pumpkin, okay? All right, so you are not going to just copy me, okay? I want you to come up with your own word. So the pumpkin is something. Maybe your pumpkin is tall. Maybe your pumpkin is circle. Or maybe your pumpkin is a triangle, okay? And you're going to come up with your own thing to put on here, okay? I circled our sight word. Look, our sight word is in our sentence. So we learned about the word the, and it's right here at the beginning. That's why I circled it. Can you circle your sight word too? Okay, so your job is to copy the sentence, come up with your own word, circle the sight word, and do your best coloring, okay? Mrs. K is not done, so I'm gonna go and finish my journal while you're working on yours, okay? All right. Well, I'm so excited to see what your guys' pumpkins look like. I bet you're designing the coolest pumpkins ever. And I will talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.